This rusty little sun-faded thing is about to get the makeover of its life. This video took me a while to make as there's a ton of work behind these 25 minutes you're about to watch. It's probably my most involved exterior detail so far, and the best way for you guys to support me is to engage with the video. So if you like this type of content, please feel free to leave a like, drop a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. In the previous episodes, there have been a ton of work being done to the car. The engine bay has gotten restored, all fluids and all filters have been replaced, the cooling system is brand new, and the complete underside and suspension have been overhauled, amongst other things as well. So if you missed that, make sure to check those episodes out as well. But now we have a lot of work ahead of us, so let's get cracking. But first, a quick message from today's sponsor. This video series is sponsored by Pureest and their amazing detailing products, and in this episode this is really where their products are going to shine. And right now, if you use the code EJOS3, you'll get a free bottle of this pH neutral car shampoo. No minimum order required, you'll just get a free bottle of shampoo, simple as that. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the video. Besides the obvious faded paint, the car has a lot of contaminants on it, mainly tar spots and algae formation on the hood and roof. So the first thing I do is to cover the entire car with Pureest tar remover and then their alkaline snow foam. While the pre-cleaners are doing their thing, it's the perfect opportunity to clean around the trims, emblems and other hard to reach areas. And before the contact wash, of course we need to rinse the car off first. I'm using a neutral car shampoo here with a little bit higher concentration than just a normal maintenance wash, and I'm also scrubbing away a little bit more than normal since this car hasn't been washed in a very long time, and we need to prep it real good before the paint correction. So definitely don't be afraid to give it a good wash before doing a polishing job. Even though I took my time with the decontamination and the wash stage, it's still a very good idea to clay the entire paintwork to get it squeaky clean and perfectly prepped before polishing. I'm using a dedicated clay lube right here, but to be honest, you can just mix your own with water, a little bit of car shampoo and a couple of drops of your favorite quick detailer in a spray bottle to save some extra money. So the decontamination stage is finally done now. I mean, it is clean, but it basically looks the way it did before. But I can assure you it is as clean as it can be. So the next stage is obviously to continue with the paint and do a full paint correction, polishing and all of that good stuff. And I'm also gonna be trying to tackle some of the rust down at the doors right there. And well, just try to make it look better. That's the main goal. I'm no professional painter by any means, so just keep that in mind before you bash me in the comments. So yeah, with that being said, let's roll it up on the lift and begin with the next stage. Well, actually, the weather is beautiful and I don't want a bunch of rust dust in my workshop, so let's pull it outside to make the most out of the last days of summer. Before doing any rust repairs, it's really important to get all of the rust out, including the deep rust pores, so I'm using an angle grinder with a grinder disc instead of just tickling the rust with a wire wheel. The rear license plate has looked really sketchy ever since I bought the car, especially with a self-tapping screw going through it, so I knew it was probably hiding an issue. I just didn't know it was this bad. Oh well, no going back now, so let's cut out the bad metal, make a new piece and weld that in. I've found this really good, easy to work with body filler that has built-in rust protection ready to go on to bare metal. And of course we need to fill in the voids from grinding away the rust as well. And then the sanding began, a lot of sanding, and then filling the fine imperfections and then sanding again, so yeah, a lot of work, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the end so it doesn't look like an old rust bucket anymore. At this point, I obviously decided it's a better idea to paint the entire rear trunk rather than trying to do a million spot repairs, so let's remove everything that's in the way. With the entire car sanded flush, or at least flush enough for me in this car, it's time to clean the paint with rubbing alcohol and then mask off the areas that aren't going to get painted. So almost done with the masking off stage, and definitely more prep work than I initially planned for. But even though I did a lot of prep work, I don't think it'll turn out completely perfect, because remember, I'm just an amateur with this painting stuff. So, but at least I think it will end up better than before, and we have removed the rust, and that's the most important thing. So with me right here, I've got some 2K epoxy primer filler, and then also 2K paint with the matching color code, so I think it will be strong and durable. And this primer filler supposedly have a very good built-in rust protection, so hopefully this will last for many years to come. I did a couple of thick layers of primer filler, let it dry for 24 hours, sanded the surface with 600 grit, wiped it off, and it was finally ready for paint. Now of course the paint finish wasn't as good as if a professional would have done it, but honestly it turned out pretty good, so much so that I decided to not wet sand it and polish it afterwards, which is nice because that saves me a lot of time, and also that will leave a thicker paint layer for extra longevity. With the lower doors and trunk being painted and fully dry now, it's just a matter of polishing the rest of the car and blending it in with the new paint. This is going to be my main setup for this car, Pureest and Scandinavian detailing latest one-step polish together with a firmer orange foam pad. Some of you might remember the red sun-faded Volkswagen Golf from way back that I also polished up. This one reminded me a lot about that. However, this Opel's paint actually responded much better to a paint correction. The paint isn't as sticky and it's just easier to work with overall. However, just like with all single stage paints, it leaves behind a lot of residue, and that's completely normal as these cars didn't come with any clear coat. Wow, I'm actually super impressed. Only one pass, already looking like this. The new polishing compound, super easy to work with. Of course, we still have some deeper scratches here and there that I might go over with a second pass, but already looking like this, I mean, the results speaks for itself. And the reason why I didn't do anything about these very poorly filled in rock chips from one of the previous owners is, well, I want to leave some imperfections in there from its previous life. I don't want it to be completely perfect and all repainted. So a homage to its old life, some imperfections and blemishes here and there. I think that just adds to the personality, honestly. And well, it did blend in better than I thought. So ended up pretty good anyways. So yeah, let's just tackle the rest of the car. Can't wait until the whole exterior is finished because I mean, just look at that transformation. So let's continue with polishing the rest of the paint. At first, I thought about putting the emblems back, but honestly I think it's going to look better with a badge delete. Let me know what you guys think after seeing the results. As we can see, I didn't put masking tape on all of the trim, and of course it's better to do that, but in all fairness, if you use a good quality polishing compound, it should come off relatively easy and not damage the plastic trim. During this entire detail, I was just astounded about how well this paint buffed out. In my opinion, a neglected red faded paint or scratched up black paint are the most satisfying to restore, just because the difference you can see is so very apparent. This tiny battery driven polisher is super convenient around the tight areas. With the whole car now polished, let's tend to the trim. And before putting on any plastic dressing, I like to scrub them down with a miracle sponge to clean up the layer of dried up oxidized plastic. This way I find the plastic restorer to last longer as well, and just giving it a better overall result. These rusty old wheels really drags down the appearance of the car, so let's restore my other set of wheels for this car. I actually did this a while ago, but I figured it just fits better to show the process now and putting them on here on this exterior detail video. There we go, the summer Steelies looks almost brand new. Definitely not going to put on some cheap plastic wheel covers. I think this looks way cooler. For paint protection, I'm going with Pureest Durable, easy to use spray sealant. Let's go ahead and attach some sort of mounting for the rear license plates. I went for a riv nut and a stainless steel screw. In hindsight, I should have probably done this before painting, but no big deal, I'll just paint around the hole. And as far as the backside of the welded metal goes, I covered that with rust proofing as it was accessible from inside of the trunk. New license plates, of course. Can't have this rusty old wiper blade on the car. There we go, much better. Last step before me presenting you with a freshly detailed car is to clean the windows inside and out. And that's it for this video, my dear viewers. Hope you liked this one. I sure enjoy the process of making this video, and I really appreciate all of the support I've received. You guys are the best. See you in the next video where I'll fix the interior of this car, which will also probably be the last video I will make with this car. So take care, and I will see you in the next one.
Don't leave me